Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Are we back?
We are back. Yes.
Are our frames still here?
They have not been dropped again. We picked them back up, put them back together, and here we are.
Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And here Leon is in this no-name country village. Where's my music at?
Go live. We start dropping frames.
Yeah, that's why I was hesitant to. All right. This Podunk village, Podunk Tavern, the Old Egg, and you just sat down with the drunkard, and I don't know. And tell us what happens next, Leon.
So Leon sits down, looks the guy right in the eye, gives him a half raise of his glass and a half-hearted cheers sort of motion.
Nods and sort of raises a glass in your general direction. It's got, it's just I guess you can't. The glass is not transparent, but you hear a pitiful sloshing of in your empty glass. And one of his eyes maybe makes eye contact, and he kind of teeters a bit in his chair. I don't think I know you.
Mm-mm. You, from around here, old-timer?
All my life. Well, except for the war.
Is what they say true about the sorcerer in these parts?
What they say about a sorcerer in these parts?
Say there's a necromancer who lives in town, likes to dig up the bones of children for his little playthings.
He sort of leans in close, his elbows on the table. Digging up graves, you say?
Children's graves.
Them's dark accusations. No, I ain't heard nothing about no grave diggers.
Could have sworn everyone back in Seagate talks about the wizard out here who digs up graves. There ain't no wizard around these parts?
He looks you as square in the eye as he can manage. Wizard. Perhaps that's a different story, but depends who's asking.
Just looking for some gossip around the watering hole.
You got dark gossip, son. He claps you on the arm. What's your strength?
15.
Oh. You're a sturdy young lad. Claps you on the arm and kind of leans against you.
So, you're not denying it then? There is a wizard around these parts.
Who? You said wizard.
Well, you said there's no dark-dealing, bone-digging necromancer around here, but you seem awfully defensive regarding the presence or not of some sort of spellcaster. Is it you? Is that why you're so defensive? Are you the bone-digging?
He speaks up so that the whole bar can hear at this point. And man comes into your town, speaking, digging up the graves of children, and you don't expect me to. I tell you, and he stands up from his chair and kind of knocks it to the side a little, and staggers out towards one of the other locals, and continues to ramble in this vein.
I let him ramble like a crazy old drunk.
Yeah.
Leon figures that's his best cover in this situation. To not attract attention is just to let the crazy old drunk be a crazy old drunk. And everyone will probably just think he's rambling.
He rambles on about them grave diggers coming in to steal our children away from us. Not even looking, and they come on down from the palace. Their sacks and shovels. And he goes on for a few minutes. But at first it started off the like, defensive. You come in my town with these crazy ideas, and then he starts taking them off in his own direction. And this scene takes the focus of most of the tavern for a couple of minutes.
Well, we just let it happen. Yeah, I just let him ramble.
So, okay. So it seemed clear to Leon that there's no rumors about body snatching necromancers. He kind of invented that, and that
totally
sort of put him off in a weird direction. But it seems clear enough, at least reading between the lines, that this talk of a wizard struck a chord with him. Right now.
So
I guess I can leave you to infer such things.
Yeah, while he's rambling, Leon wants to, if there's someone nearby, Leon wants to lean back in his chair to throw a question at somebody in close proximity.
There's two men at a table nearby.
Okay. If possible, I'll lean back and say to one of them, "What is he going on about?"
They both look at you suspiciously. Darren, perhaps just a bit too in his cups. I don't know. What'd you say to him?
I told him that there's a rumor back in town, back in Seagate, that there's a wizard up in these parts, and then he started going on about bone snatching and what is this? Good people from the palace?
You want to roll a charisma check for me? Get the dice warm.
Sure. Oops, no, not plus 56, just plus 5.
But you do roll a 17.
Yeah, that's still a 22.
Well, surely you know that witchcraft is not it's punishable by death, ain't it? And this younger man, who you now notice has like a sling around his left arm, the one he's got tucked away from you, turns to an older, more haggard gentleman also sitting at the table. Mm-hmm. Yep, wasn't always that way. Used to be a hedge wizard, make a decent living, respected member of the community. Not no longer.
Why not? What happened? What changed?
Beats me. Kids these days, am I right?
I mean, that it's punishable by death. Someone changed the law?
They both shrug. It's more on the winds. I ain't getting no legal notice, but
You a hedge wizard?
These are. What's that?
I say to him, you a hedge wizard?
They both break up laughing. He exposes, his missing teeth in the process. These are, country bumpkin. They don't know. I mean, they can't read, right? They're not gonna know the law.
Right. Well, I'm trying to slowly work them for information. Without
you would have heard rumors too about wizards being disappearing and strung from trees and burned at the stake.
All well and good.
Things that happen.
But Leon's trying to act the fool, and like he doesn't know what's going on, and try and find out information about a wizard by kind of prompting people, even with false prompts that aren't real, just to get them to talk about what's going on in their neighborhood. So, I look to the kid with his arm in a sling, and say, "What happened to you? Huh? Surely."
It was, he puffs up his chest, fighting in the south.
War wound, huh?
The man next to him wheezes. It's like, Denny here is full of shit. As full of shit as the mule that kicked him. Boy ain't never seen a true battle in his life.
Leon in his head is thinking, if this guy's arm is broken because his father is a drunk and beat him and broke his arm, then Leon's going to be making another grave.
No, he doesn't look that young.
Okay, I mean, the kid doesn't look like
his parents may be still alive. No, he looks like a young man of working age who got kicked by a mule.
Okay. Leon nods along with
probably lucky he only broke his arm.
Well, damn shame there ain't a wizard nearby then. Could have fixed that up for you right quick.
The kid looks shiftily from left to right.
Leon turns his back to them while kind of still speaking aloud to the group behind him. Yeah, I once had a sister. Broke her arm, went to a wizard, and he saw it patched up right away. Price he was asking was a little steep, though. And
is that so?
What? Oh, I mean, back at what he's doing. Yeah, them wizards, all sorts of unnatural things they can do. Fixing people's bones and that, whatnot.
You don't say. Well, gee, look at I really gotta get back to it.
Yeah, Leon finishes
late in the day.
Finishes his drink and says, "Yeah." Gives a bit of a stretch and goes out to the outside porch as if looking around for where he's going next, and he's going to watch this kid and then follow him, hoping that he heads to.
So you get up immediately as soon as he does. And
yeah, like around the same time.
It sounded like the timing was awkward. Like he was getting up to leave, and you also decide to get up to leave, and I think you walk out before him, so he kind of awkwardly steps in place, not wanting to
No, it's fine. Like I'll walk out and then go to the side while I observe the road, and then let him follow out after me.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
and he,
and then
he heads off. He heads
which way?
North and east along the road.
Along the road.
Yeah, that way. You've got my same color, dude. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I was this light green shade over here, and my lines were getting lost, so I just picked something that would show well against that. I'll change it so it won't be the same.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, okay, I was about to change to black. It's a good thing you stopped me.
All right. So you stand out on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
You see the cart you rode in on is sort of pulled up in the mud, sort of off to the left, and they've unloaded most of the apple crates from the back.
Sure. Well, I'm going to start.
This boy, nervous, or not this young man. He's probably only a few years younger than you. Scurries off sort of down the street.
Okay. I will
north and
start
east.
lazily making my way in that direction. I want to make sure he doesn't leave my sight, but I'll let him get a good distance on me. But when he starts getting to the point where he's curving around roads that I can't see around, I'll pick up the pace, maybe even jog to keep him in my vision, but only just so.
So, this map is to scale.
Okay.
So roll a charisma check. I can't see how this would be dexterity. You're trying to act nonchalant. You're not trying to hide.
13.
Yeah, and he totally sort of around. You've got straight line of sight, sort of up. Up at least to that crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
And about there, he stops and looks over his shoulder, and he totally sees you following him down the street. You're not.
Look, there's one street, right? So 50% chance I'm following if I'm headed down the street somewhere.
Yeah, and you're used to walking around looking intimidated. When you're following people, you're used to kind of making it known that they're being followed.
Yeah, and Leon's probably doing a similar thing here, kind of.
Okay,
he's got a broad chest, and
you can pretend you meant to fail that check all you want. He takes off in a sort of a brisk power walk, verging on a jog, continuing to the north and east, sort of around the bend. For the time being, you kind of lose sight of him around that those buildings that are across the
Mhm.
street. But you can continue after him. Sure. All right.
Yeah.
But it's very apparent that you're following him. Maybe not to
Well,
anyone else, like the other,
I mean, I'm
dozen
headed
or
in the
so.
same direction. If that's following, then so be it.
He knows you're following him or something,
Okay.
because he takes off jogging
All right.
once he breaks free of town. So you can see him sort of running out that way.
Mhm.
I assume you're still just like walking,
Yep. Yep.
or
Do I lose sight of him when it gets to that
so you see
straightaway?
him. Yeah, no. This path runs maybe what is that? It's like less than a quarter mile out of town, and then eventually, and then just sort of fades out into the hills, and then it's a less defined path. Right? It's a dirt road through town.
Mhm.
But once you get out into the moors, it's kind of just like the wagons will go.
Yeah.
I guess probably spreads out into multiple wagon ruts going all manner of different directions.
Mm.
And then from there, you've kind of got a clear line of sight out into the hills. So you basically walk to the edge of the village and you look out and
Right.
you see this kid running out into the hills.
All right. Well, Leon's not going to go chasing a kid into the
I keep calling
hills.
him kid. He's
Right.
in his 20s.
All right. Leon's not going to go chasing a young man into the hills. That's not his job here. Now maybe the wizard is out in those hills, but before he does that, he's going to need to find out. So I guess on this section of town, I'm going to kind of ask a passerby or someone who's sitting on their porch or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
what's out there in those hills?
You
Excuse me,
catch,
sir. What's out there in those hills?
yeah. Um, Trying to think who you would catch that's out sort of here at the edge of town.
Hmm.
Um, but sure that there's a passerby, probably yeah. It's probably one of the I don't know, some of the help from the whatever shipping, whatever. There's some one of the guys who was helping unload the apple crates. They've finished up, and he's there. Maybe there's a pair of them walking past
Hmm.
you, sort of done with the day's work, and you stop them and you ask them, what's out in those hills,
Hmm.
and you sort of pause and turn. Farmland, sheep mostly. Uh,
Mm. That
you walk,
I
yeah,
hear there's a wizard lives around here in one of these hills. That you live out there?
The two of them look nervously to each other. I'm gonna keep having you roll charisma checks.
God.
You gotta pick a different skill to obtain information, Neal. You
Oh
rolled a
God! All
one.
right, it's
Yeah,
gonna.
they look super nervous, right? They're yeah,
All right.
to
Well,
the point where it makes you think that there's got to be a wizard out in those hills, but they're not inclined to answer.
all
They
right.
make some excuse to, well, but just got done working. Yeah,
Sure, sure, sure. All right,
and
Leon's gonna have to.
they get lost.
He's gonna have to rely more on his enforcer work. He's gonna have to find someone and bully and intimidate them into sharing information. So Leon's going to look for a shack or a hut or some sort of building that is separate from others by a good 100 feet or so.
100 feet or
At
so.
least 100 feet. Hopefully a couple 100 feet. No?
Yeah, I mean we can call it. We can say you wind up in this finding this shack. You would have passed it on your way into town. It looks like a small, like one room house on a. I guess it's just like looks like the living quarters of this farm here,
Okay. This
right?
one
So
out
there's
here.
probably yeah. So there's probably like a fence, like a light fence or something running like that.
Hmm.
Just like a short waist high fence to keep like sheep in the yard.
Right.
Um, and you can see maybe off the distance, sort of like up, sort of off the map to the north. You can see like a shepherd tending a flock. So that's the nearest lone building. Is that not what you were? Are you
That's
looking for a
exactly what I'm
murder
looking.
shack, or are
No,
you
no.
looking for?
Well, yeah, kind of a murder shack, but no, this is a few hundred feet or
Hmm.
more than 100 feet from all the other nearby shacks. And you
Hmm.
said there's a shepherd tending his flock out here somewhere.
Yeah, a couple hundred feet away.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna walk up to the or start walking up to the shack, giving a look around to see if anyone is um, clearly observing me. Like if there's anyone sitting
Hmm.
on their porch watching the stranger walk through town, I'd like to know. Um, but as long as there's no one who's paying, keeping an eye on me, I'm gonna walk up to the shack.
All right. You approach the shack. Roll a perception check.
20 plus 11, 28.
You do spot someone that's like got line of sight to you down here, but you wait a moment or so. Maybe you walk past the little house
Mm-hmm.
and walk back. The shepherd clearly has his back to you, and then you wait for like this guy to walk around the corner,
Hmm.
and you feel pretty confident that you could get approach without being seen. So you sort of scurry up the cobblestone walkway. Um, you like push the little gate aside
Hmm.
and sort of slip up to the door.
All right.
The door faces west, and then you can see like underneath the awning, sort of around the house. On the north side of the house, you see like some like a small chest and maybe like a table.
Okay. I'd like to open the door.
All right, you open the door to the shack.
Mm-hmm.
Small one room house. Feels warm. You get like a gust there from an open window and
All
uh,
right. I'll take a step in,
hot
make
air from
sure
a stove that's cranking.
I look around
And
for
you
another
step
occupant.
inside.
Yeah, if someone's got a fire going on here, there's
It's
probably a person in here
yeah, it's
too.
clearly empty. It is clearly empty. Like it's just a one room
Hmm.
building, one room sort of farmhouse. Um,
Clearly empty,
but yeah,
but
clearly empty. Yeah, it's about almost it's a good sized room,
hmm.
maybe 20 feet long, 15 feet wide. Against the far end, there's some sort of a little kitchen setup, like with a wood burning stove and
Hmm.
an open window. There's a bed off to one corner,
You said there's a
and
wood
some
burning stove that's going.
that is going.
Well then, is this the
Uh,
only door to this shack, or is there a second door?
there is a second door across the way.
Okay, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
kind of imagining the shack
it's off on the side. Yeah,
being like a square thing like this with a door here, and where's the other door on the other side?
on the north
On the north
side,
side.
like
Okay.
that. No,
Okay.
not the other side. Yeah,
Yeah. And are there any windows that point
yeah. There's
north?
a window there, and yes, there's a window right where you indicated.
Okay, perfect. Then Leon's going to go position himself in this corner, kind of glancing out this window from time to
Mm-hmm.
time. And he's going to wait for. I mean, no one's going to leave a stove burning in a little shack like this all day long, right? You need to you need to fire it every now and then, add some wood to it. And you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
just leave a wood burning stove going on in a wood shack. So Leon figures someone's going to be back pretty soon. Maybe they're gone to the outhouse. Maybe the shepherd just went to grab something from his flock. Someone is going to be coming back pretty soon. So I'm going to hang out in that corner between the two doors with a view out the window and just wait.
Yeah. Roll a perception check. Oh,
31.
nail it. Yeah, you hear some voices from the road. You can't make out what they're saying, but it sounds like, based on the pitch, it sounds like women.
Hmm.
There's laughter. Um, and then you hear footsteps approaching from the west, so like approaching towards this door.
Hmm.
You've got maybe a round to react to this. Otherwise,
Right. It's just a pair of voices you said?
I don't know.
But it sounds like
roll-
more than one. It sounds like a conversation is coming.
Yeah, at least
towards me.
two. You don't know that you could pinpoint.
That's fine. I only
down
need
to
to
an
know if
exact
there's
number,
more,
and the voices
more
stop,
than one.
and someone is approaching the door.
Okay, I will stand next to the door.
Do you ready any actions or anything, or?
Yes. So here are my actions and their conditions. If someone opens the door,
You can't program your D&D character is not like a programmable.
Okay, I have
computer. You can't put it. You get one if then statement.
Okay. So if there is a person that walks in, if there's only. If a person is looking out the door as they walk in, like they open the door and they're talking to someone as they're coming into the house and then shutting the door, I don't want to act.
You can always choose to, like you don't. I'm not going to force you to attack someone, right?
Right. So I'm not trying to attack
But if you
someone.
want to be able to, okay. So you don't ready any actions.
I'm not trying to attack someone the moment they step into the door. I'm going to try and, silence somebody, but I don't want to make an action if there's like.
Okay.
I don't want to prepare an action if there's two people right there. That
Okay.
it might be problematic.
Yeah. So the door opens inward, and a woman steps right next to you. She's wearing a blue dress. She doesn't immediately notice you. I assume you're like crouching just below eye level, maybe?
Yeah, I'm off to the side and down a little bit, and I'm waiting to see if there's a second person with her or if it's just her.
It doesn't. You roll a 20 on your perception check. I mean, you can't totally see out the door, but you based on what you can hear and just her walking through the door, you think that whoever she was with is out at the street, or maybe they've already left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this shack is set back.
Okay. Well, then I will.
So she doesn't immediately notice you. She's like inches from you, though.
Is she shutting the door
in front of you? She's opening the door. She stepped in. The next logical step will probably be to shut it.
All right, then I'm just going to wait for her to shut the door before I spring on her.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't immediately notice you. I think she gets to shut the door, but it's not like you're hiding. You're like right there. So she like steps in, shuts the door, and like stops, and just like you can see the gears turning in her head. Just like, well, who's that? Why is this person in my house?
That's the point where I'm going to take a spring at her.
The face turns to terror, and we're going to roll for initiative.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. 10 plus, I believe it's 3 for unarmed attacks.
Correct. Do you have any dexterity?
No. 7 dex.
All right. So she lets out a wail, a shriek. Oh, there. Ah! I'm not going to scream bloody murder in the middle of the day. She lets out a scream. She doesn't even stop to shout, "Who the hell are you?" And she immediately like runs past you and goes to run out this door, I think.
She beats my 7?
She beats your 7. You don't get opportunity attacks with your fists or anything, do you?
I am specialized. Let's take a look here.
I don't think there's anything like that, right?
I am considered threatening these squares, and if someone leaves a threatened square... But let me double check. I want to make sure I'm not pulling that out of my ass entirely.
Yeah.
Unarmed combat.
Because otherwise I think she just runs straight through to the back door.
Right.
And leaves.
Efficient, specialized. Martial arts specialists can make martial arts attacks against armed opponents without provoking attacks of opportunity.
But you don't get opportunity attacks ever, do you? Yeah, I don't think you. Well, you said you threatened. Where did you say you threatened squares?
I mean, I was adjacent to her, so I was threatening her square.
Okay, but you made that up. That's not listed anywhere.
Well, I don't know.
Right? You don't. Threatened tends to carry different connotations, right? As in, like, you get to make opportunity attacks if someone leaves without withdrawing. Yeah, I don't think you get any chance to grab her before she, I think she can just run without.
I suppose. Yeah.
All right. So she gets to the back door. She fumbles with it for a second. She's got to like throw the deadbolt, but she gets it open and she goes running. So she walks in the front door, casually shuts it, looks at you, scream, and goes running. You can run her down, but you're gonna run her down in the backyard, right? So some like 60, probably like 30 feet out of the back.
See, any square that a creature can reach with its weapons or claws also threatens those squares.
Yeah. This does not apply to humans making unarmed attack. Unarmed attacks. Unless you or chat can find anywhere where it specifically says that you get attacks of opportunity.
Following actions grant attack of opportunity for the threat. No.
Yeah, I don't think you threaten squares.
With unarmed, yeah. Alright. You want? Okay, so she opens the door and flees.
I mean, I'm willing to go either way, if like the specialist says, but I don't think it says that anywhere.
It doesn't. There's nowhere where the only thing that defines threatening is if you have a. Yeah, that was the only line that discusses threatening the entire book, or that's it's the first thing that describes threatening. So, if you want to consider my fists weapons, then I do threaten.
Yeah.
If you want to consider them not weapons, then they don't threaten.
Oh no, here we go. A martial arts master threatens his front squares, and doesn't have to make attacks opportunity. You are just specialized, correct?
Yeah. So you got to be a master to do it.
Yes, but it is in the rules there.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Cool. So you do not get an attack of opportunity. She goes running straight through the farmhouse, out the back door. I mean, yeah. So she gets, yeah. Like I said, she's not faster than you. You can chase her down, but at this point, she's out the back door and running. Yeah. Or maybe you turn to snatch at her? You're too slow. What do you do? What does Leon do?
Leon gives a heavy sigh. This whole operation has gone to shit. He's used to just beating the shit out of people. And here he is trying to be other than just a brute enforcer in an area where his gang holds influence, and it's not going according to plan. He's either got to go beat up these people in broad daylight, which I think is what he's going to do, or he would have to just flee because then the law would be after him. So he's kind of on a short timeline here. So Leon's gonna go out the door and chase after the woman.
All right, you can make an attack if you'd like. Or multiple attacks.
As fast as me. So
he's as fast as you. Yeah.
So how do I catch her and make an attack at the same time? Just charge?
You could charge. You can do even without charging, right?
No, because that would be.
You basically both started in the same square. She even had to wait. She even had to open the door.
But she uses all of her movement for. Okay.
You can catch her, so she doesn't double move, right? So I was assuming that's having to open the door. I mean, so running through a house eats up extra movement. Opening door eats up extra movement. I was assuming she just moved hers.
Okay.
She moved
so then Leon will run up
120.
Find her and go ahead and just give her a good battering.
Yeah. So I think you're like hot on her heels out the. Yeah.
Okay.
Out the. Yeah, so
14 to hit.
Is that just like a punch? You just like punch her in the back of the head, or
punch her in the back of the head?
Okay.
And I punch her for 3 points of damage. 1/4 of which is real, the rest is temporary.
3 points of so you just you like hot on this woman's heels.
If that
come skidding after her,
bring her down.
Yeah,
I have a
you
second
just
attack.
Yeah, no, you punch her in the back of the head. Her legs go out behind her, and she just face plants in the dirt. She lets out a scream as she goes down. But
I look up towards the possible farmer, goat herder nearby.
Yeah, he heard and now sees everything. So he looks at he's let's say yeah, he's a good couple 100 feet off, but he looks at you like from atop a hill, and you two clearly, I mean, like.
So what I want to do then, while making eye contact with him, is put a finger to my lips, draw my dagger, and place it at the side of her neck in like a make a move and I will kill her sort of motion.
Okay.
So
Done. He's
and then come here while holding
Yeah.
the dagger, like crouching over the woman and holding the dagger threateningly to her.
all right. Trembling, the farmer slowly makes his way towards you without a sound. He holds like a shepherd's crook in one hand, and he's dressed in farmer trousers. He's wearing
Farmer trousers.
Overalls. I don't know.
Excellent.
Okay. And he approached. It takes him like a minute or two to walk the distance. Do you make any other precautions in the meantime?
I will give it just a cursory glance around me to see if anyone else has perked up and is following over or noticing what's going on.
Roll a wisdom check.
16.
Yeah. Okay. You don't see anyone. You don't. Yeah.
Perfect.
You look around. There's no one else around that you can see to have heard.
Perfect.
You and the farmer.
So when he gets here,
makes his way towards you. Yeah. How close do you? Yes. I mean, so he walks right up to you, I guess. I mean, do you stop him at some distance?
No. I say, grab her legs. We got to take her inside.
Who are you? What do you want?
I put the blade closer to her neck to the point where it's
trembling,
pushing against her
but
skin.
he walks right up, 5 feet.
Yeah.
And he's right in front of you.
I get the point on her
trembling
on her neck, so it's indenting her skin, but not quite drawing blood. And then repeat
what do you
myself.
want?
Grab her legs. We need to take her inside. And then I will grab her.
Roll a charisma check. Charisma will be your downfall.
23.
He grabs her legs. He drops his shepherd's crook and helps you carry his wife inside.
I tuck my dagger away and grab her hands, carry her inside and plop her down on the ground.
All right. You plop her down probably on the bed in the corner.
Yeah.
He looks at you, abject horror on his face. What are you going to do to us? What is it you want?
If you play your cards right, you could get out of this just fine, losing nothing more than your crook. Even that you could go back and pick up. You listening?
He nods and then looks back to his wife. He's been standing over. He's chatting. She's got a huge bump in the back of her head, but she's otherwise.
I pull my rope.
Still breathing. Right?
I pull my rope out of my bag. And 50 feet. It's quite a bit of rope. And then I tell him to tie her up with it while we talk. Nice and tight.
So it's like that, is it?
He toss the rope to him.
He looks to his wife. The rope clatters in front of him. He's looking at it. He's looking to his wife at the time, and he doesn't even notice you throw it. Yeah.
Now you do as I say, and both of you will be fine. You'll never have to see me again. Just be a bad dream.
He pauses, goes to pick up the rope, and then you see him diving towards the bed. I'm gonna I'll roll a surprise check for you.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. No, you are
not seeing that coming.
You thought he was reaching for the rope. He goes and he where's guess I wasn't done with the exciting music after all. He goes for some blade that was stashed, next to the bed, and he's on you before you.
Does he get a chance to react? Attack that round?
Yeah, he gets you by surprise this point. And he does. You don't. Your AC is
My
just
AC
standard, right? You
is
aren't
12.
armored. Is it AC or is that a dex
That's
or
a
something?
martial arts style D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For 2 points of damage,
Oh.
he's come at you with the with a short sword.
Okay. Well then.
Out of my house, brigand. And you can roll.
Roll initiative.
All right, you go first.
Okay, I will make my 2 attacks against him. One with my main hand, one with my offhand.
And you do not provoke opportunity attacks, I believe.
Correct. That's a 15 and a 15.
That'll be a hit.
First one does 3 damage. And then the second one does 5 damage. So it's a...
All right. It takes both punches to bring him down, but you catch him with the hook under the jaw, and he goes splaying out
All right.
onto the floor. There's a loud clatter as the sword goes tumbling to the side, leaving a streak of your blood across the wooden floor.
Leon will take a look at his wound, judging it to be not important enough right now. He will then proceed to tie up the husband and wife pair with his 50 feet of silk rope.
Does rope use explain the timing it takes to do these various tasks? Or
It does not explain that. It just says that you are proficient enough that you're not gonna.
Okay. So you can get them more or less. What are you fixing them to?
Are there any chairs? Are there 2 chairs in this house?
Yeah.
I will set the chairs back to back, put them in the chairs, and then tie them to their chair and then to each other. So kind of Indiana Jones in Last Crusade with his father tied up in the German castle.
Okay. If you're knocked unconscious from unarmed attacks,
it's
recover in D4 hours. Does that sound right? No,
it's a few turns, I think. I don't think it's hours.
Temp HP lasts a few turns, but I think if you get brought to 0 HP.
Let's see. Unconscious creatures from pummeling. Page 84 of the combat and tactic. No, that's if you score a critical hit, you can use optional rules to make them make a save versus death or be knocked unconscious.
Somewhere at
maybe it's just under temporary
handbook or something.
She'll be unconscious for a while.
I'm not worried about her actually, but I was just curious because I know it's going to matter at some point.
Yeah. Temporary damage. Only a quarter is normal. Temporary damage automatically heals at 1 point per combat round. Characters reduced to -10 by temporary damage are still dead. Characters reduced to 0 to -9 recover 1 temporary damage each combat round, but remain unconscious for a full 2d6 turns or until healed.
Oh, turns. Okay.
Yeah, turns.
Okay. So it could, okay.
So 20 minutes
to 2 hours.
Both,
so they're both unconscious. You're able to get them tied up. But as you're finishing tying them up, there is a knock on the door. Joseph?
Grumble.
Joseph? Everything all right in there? We heard quite a racket.
Leon will walk over to the door, put a hand on the handle, ready to open it, but not say anything. Actually, he's going to listen through to the other side to see if he hears anything.
Can roll a perception check.
23.
Okay. You hear relative silence, I guess. So if there's, there can't be. I mean, can't be many people out there, right? If there were a large group, you'd hear them shifting and.
Right, Leon's gonna wait. Just hope that this guy gives up and walks back home. He's just gonna patiently wait here.
Okay. There's another knock. Joseph, you and Liza all right? We heard screams. And then there's a jostling at the door. You realize that the deadbolt is not engaged.
That's fine.
You can go to like block the door from the back side.
No, what I'd like to do actually is as the door handle is opening and the door is opening, I want to open it with him to open it quickly, grab him by his collar, tug him in, and shut the door. That's my plan. As he opens it to see what's going on, help him in and give it a shot.
Okay. No surprise, so you need to roll initiative.
Not an ambush either. Kind of ambushy.
Does ambushing gives you a free combat round? I think this was not an ambush. You just decided 10 seconds ago that you were going to attack this guy.
All right.
So roll
5 on initiative.
Yeah. So you win the initiative. The door opens. You allow it to be open, right? Like
I help it
maybe
open.
Even yank it open faster.
Then I'm going to make a grab attack at his
grab
collar.
The guy. Make an attack roll.
Flag. Can't even type into roll 20.
That's a D10. Oh,
that's my initiative. There's my grab attack at him. 17 on the collar.
So you grab a fistful of like a padded gambeson.
Mm-hmm.
You see there's just one man on the porch.
Thank God.
Middle-aged, receding hairline, but he's got some heft to him.
Give him a tug
in. Roll a strength check. And
20 on the strength check.
Let's see what Nope, you still beat him. He's got some heft to him, but you sort of catch him off balance and yank him inside the building, and shut the door.
Yes, and shut the door behind.
Yeah, as you're doing so, you see a small crowd gathered across out of the street,
looking and seeing
this. You see maybe a half dozen people. I was waiting in the street to see what was going to happen, and you make very obvious eye contact with some of them as you slam the door. You hear a clatter of a sword in its scabbard on this man's waist, and I think we need to roll initiative for the next round, unless you want to claim that.
I would like to make my second attack.
Okay, you can make a swing with your offhand.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead. Is that with a fist or a kick or?
That's with a fist.
Okay.
Natural 1. No good.
Yeah. No, you. Yeah. You don't even get you go spinning around to give the guy a swing, and he's caught his balance. You threw him in the room. You took pause at the witnesses, and by the time you turn around, you just catch nothing but air. Even throw your shoulder out a bit, and as you see the man standing before you, rolling for initiative.
Okay.
Ooh. You hear sling as steel is bared. The man, we'll call him the sheriff, unsheathes the longsword and descends upon you without so much a word. He grits his teeth, and actually misses. Right, you have high dex. Okay. Yeah. You just narrowly sort of slip out of the way. You see splinters fly, and you hear a thump as the sword hits the door. Go ahead and take your actions.
All right, d20 plus 4. First attack.
13 will do it.
For 4 points of damage. Whoops, I'm sorry. That should be 3 points of damage.
Okay.
My second attack is a 21.
That is a hit.
For 4 points of damage.
Still standing. And...
that should be a D3, not a D2. Those should both be D3s instead of D2s. I'm sorry.
I'll let you keep the 2. It's better than average.
It's slightly below... no, I guess it's...
average on a D3 is 1.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first one is 3. So it should be...
No, you're
You're gonna have me keep both of them?
Re-roll them both then.
Okay. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage for the first 2 attacks.
What the fuck? You bring him down. Sure.
Okay.
All right, you pummel the sheriff into unconsciousness.
Oh god, this is becoming a larger problem.
You got the bodies are piling up.
All right. Leon's looking at these things around him, but there's the crowd outside, which he can't avoid anymore. So he's got a new idea. I'm sure Leon has gotten his hands dirty before. I'm sure he's killed someone in the past, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Probably intentionally. Probably both. He's not... the other people have all kind of had it coming. They've been low-life slime. They've been rival gang members. He's not really much in the way of killing civilians, but today he's graduating from one class of underworld to a second class of underworld, and it only seems fitting that the ceremony should also involve killing a civilian in the matter, and a sheriff to boot, which makes it even more a life change for him. So he'll take out the longsword, and this being the first time he's decapitating
there on the floor.
Yeah, his first time decapitating someone's probably awkward, so it's going to be like
the first time you've ever held the longsword. You feel powerful. You pick it up and both hands off the floor. Like 5 pounds of steel, and it's straight and honed. This blade probably hasn't seen combat in years, but it's been kept nice and sharp nonetheless.
Well, I'll
you raise it above your head, and I think we'll head off into our break. Or that.
Oh yeah. We'll see you guys on the other side.
I figured we'd leave it we'd leave it on a cliffhanger, but there you go, spoiling the punchline a little bit.
All right, well, we'll see you guys on the other side of the break. The stream might go down while I try and solve the lag issues, although I doubt it'll fix anything. But if the stream goes down, be aware that it will just be coming back shortly. See you guys on the other side of the break. Bye-bye.